Okay, so welcome back students. We have finished the problem on cube or hexahedron, both means the same. So next we have the last solid here in projection of solids, that is called as tetrahedron. Okay, so we have the question here. A tetrahedron of side 40 mm is resting on one of the sides on HP. The side is parallel to VP and 40 mm away from it. It is tilted about resting side such that the base containing the edge is inclined at 30 degrees to HP. Draw the projections of the solid. Okay. So before starting with the question, you are supposed to know what is a tetrahedron, isn't it? So we have studied what is a hexahedron, and I've told you hexahedron means it is cube. So what is a tetrahedron? Hexa means 6 sides. So tetra means how much? 4. Okay. So this is an object which is having 4 equal faces. That object is called as tetrahedron. Okay, so it has a base and then 3 lateral edges, lateral faces. Okay, so it is like a pyramid. Okay, it's similar to pyramid. Cube resembling a prism, isn't it? But it will have 6 of equal faces. Similarly, if you have triangular faces, 4 triangular faces, it will have tetrahedron, and any face can be a base out of this. All the faces are equal. Okay, so in case of a pyramid, if you see, if I try to differentiate between a pyramid and a tetrahedron, in pyramid you have a base, okay, and then you have lateral slant faces. Now the height of the slant faces will be different than the base, isn't it? Usually the base may be say 25 mm or 30 mm base it will have, but the axis height will be 50 mm or 60 mm. That means the slant faces will be much bigger. But if what happens in the case of tetrahedron is, whatever the base is there, no, the same face, lateral faces will also be of same area. So that means you can tilt it in any of the one of the faces and keep the shape of the tetrahedron will not change. Okay. So one more important thing here, I will tell that when the sketch comes in, don't take into picture that the side of the base is equal to the axis height. No, in the tetrahedron it is not equal to the axis. I will tell you that when I draw the sketch. But for the time being, you need to understand that a tetrahedron is a 4-sided figure which is having 4 face. It has 4 equal triangular faces. Okay. So that is what you mean by a tetrahedron. Hexahedron means it is having 6 equal faces and all the faces are square. In tetrahedron it has 4 faces and all the 4 faces are triangular. Okay, triangular faces. Alright, so let's go to the solution now. So first we will start from drawing the XY line, and you have to place the tetrahedron. So as I mentioned you earlier, tetrahedron has triangular faces, right? Hexahedron has square faces, tetrahedron will have triangular faces. So the side is given, so the base will be a triangle. So the base is also triangle, the lateral faces are also triangle. So it has 4 faces, all are same. Okay, so the dimension is given. So side is 40 mm. Okay, so let's do the naming ABC. Let's find out its center. So here can you see now, when you draw the top view, it has slant faces. I told you, right, tetrahedron is similar to a pyramid. So it will not have a top face. It has one base and 3 lateral faces. All 3 are triangular. So I hope now when you see the top, you get an idea. So you have one face here, right? This portion, if I name this as O1 and O2. So AOB one face, then AOC another face, COB another face, and ABC being another face. So when you are seeing from the top, you will see the apex point, okay, O1 and O2, and then you will be able to see the 3 faces, 3 slant faces like this, and the base. So if you tilt it by, let's say, AOB as the base and keep also, you will get the same view. If you keep AOC as the base and tilt it, you will get the same view. If you keep COB as the base also, you will get the same view. So that's how a tetrahedron is. I hope you understood. the base and the slant faces are all same area, they are equal. Okay, that is about the top view. Fine, top view is done. Now we have to draw the front view. This is another interesting thing here. Okay, front view. So please concentrate, front view, don't make a mistake here. So in this case what happens is we are projecting it upwards, and you can see from projection from O1 and O2. Okay, the projections have come from O1 and O2. So in this tetrahedron, please understand, axis height won't be given. Okay, axis height won't be given, and it is also not equal to 40. Don't do that mistake, because some of the time students just consider this way, like because in cube we did it, because cube this side is also for, if we take it as 40, even this side will be 40, this side will be 40, isn't it? Because they are all parallel edges. But here it is not parallel, it's like this. The shape will be coming as a triangle again in the front view also. So the axis is not equal to 40, but the slant edge, that is this one, this is equal to 40. Got it? This is one important observation to be made in the case of tetrahedron. The axis height is not 40, the slant edge is 40. So what you need to do is you simply have to project axis somewhere upwards as a projection line, and then take the distance of 40 mm in the compass, keep it at this particular point and cut it here. So this distance will be 40, not the axis. Okay, so that is what you have to note here. See here, the slant edge is equal to 40. So based on that you will draw the front view. So axis will be definitely lesser than 40. We don't know how much, you can measure it and see later. Okay, but that is not anything important here, because axis height is not given. What is to be known is that the slant height is equal to 40. Alright, so O1 dash A dash is equal to 40. This will not be given in the question. You should understand it. When it's a tetrahedron, the slant edge is equal to the side of the base. Okay, so when this question is, when I've told you this part, there is another important thing you have to note. I don't know whether some would have already got this thought in the mind. What about O dash and B dash line? Can't we take that as 40? Why it should be O dash A dash 40? Because there is on the other side you have O dash B dash and O dash C dash line, isn't it? Can that be equal to 40? Is it possible if I take that 40 and cut the arc and join it on the other side? No, you cannot do that. That will be wrong. Okay, why it will be wrong? Because you may ask me why it is wrong. You said the slant edge is equal to the base side, right? This is also slant edge, and on the other side OB is also slant edge, OC is also slant edge. Why it should be only OA that is equal to 40? Okay, because the other two edges, if you see the top view properly, here these edges are not parallel to XY line. These edges are already inclined. So you will not get the true length here. Got it? The only edge that is parallel to XY line is OA. That means this is the true length, OA. So only OA will be properly 40 in the front view because it is parallel. These are not parallel. These are inclined. O to B is inclined. O to C is also inclined. Only O to A edge is parallel. So only when you have a parallel edge, we are able to see the true length. Got it? That is why it should be OA, that is equal to 40. Please remember this. So whichever edge is being parallel to XY line, only that edge can be considered to our taking the true length, 40. You cannot take OB, because you may do that mistake. If you take OB as 40 and cut the arc and draw it from this side, then that is not the proper shape of the tetrahedron. Okay, so the proper shape of the tetrahedron you will get only when you consider the base in the top view, which line is parallel to XY line. Only from that side you have to draw 40 mm. Okay, 40 mm or whatever the dimension given. In this case it is 40 mm. Okay, I hope I have made myself clear with this part. It is two things to be remembered. Base side they will give you of the tetrahedron. So you will draw a triangle, equilateral triangle of that particular dimension, 40, 40, 40 on the base. Next, You will take the center, you will project it upwards, and the axis height is not equal to the base height. You will take the slant edge which is parallel to XY line. From there you will take 40 and cut the arc and get the front view. Join the other part and get the front view. Alright. Okay. So let's go to the second part of this. So what is the second part here? Inclination to HP. The base edge is inclined at 30 degrees to HP is given. Again, it is not given that the axis is inclined to 30 degrees. The base edge is inclined at 30 degrees is given. So that means you have to take the base inclined at 30 degrees. Okay, these are small details you have to be careful when you are drawing the sketches, students. If it is mentioned axis, then axis should be done. Here it is not mentioned that the axis is inclined at 30 degrees. Here they are saying that the base edge is AC in this case, isn't it? A, B dash, C dash, that edge should be inclined at 30 degree. Base is inclined at 30 degrees to HP is given. So what will you do? Construction is very simple here. I don't think I need to explain this. Very simple. It's a triangle, right? So you can do that. Measure the distance between A to B dash, C dash line. Draw at that at an angle of 30 degrees. Okay. And then you can take the distance from A to O and then B dash, C dash to O and cut the arc. So you'll get the another point. Okay. And it is resting on the edge. So that is again becomes important. You have to make sure that you are tilting it towards your right only here. Okay. You are tilting it towards your right here, not towards the left. If you tilt it towards the left, what will happen? It will be resting on the corner. A dash is the corner, right? A is the corner, BC is the edge. So you have to tilt it towards your right so that it is resting on BC. This is the edge, BC. A is the corner. If you tilt it towards left, it will rest on the corner. So please be careful. Condition is given in the question. It is resting on the edges of the base. Okay. So next we have to draw the top view. Alright, so projections has to come. Projection from A, projection from B, projection from C, as well as O1 and O2. So rules will not change at all. First join the outermost boundary. Okay, so joining the outermost boundary means A to B, B to O, O to C, and C to A again. That is the outermost boundary. Okay. Next, you have to see here whether A to O is visible or not. And you are seeing from the top, isn't it? So when you see from the top, O to A is the first line. So O to A is visible. That means other line has to be hidden. B to C is hidden. Very simple. Right. First you will join the outer boundary. That is understood. Next only two lines are left. One is to joining from O to A and other one is from B to C. So when you are seeing from the top, you can see O to A is visible or not. Definitely visible because that is the first line on the top. So O to A is visible. B to C is below. So B to C will be on the ground. So that should be hidden line. Alright. The rest of the things are all coming on the boundary. So there is no question of being hidden or visible. Whatever comes on the boundary is always visible. Okay. So whatever is not coming in the boundary, we have to decide whether that is hidden or visible. Okay. Now the third view. So what is the third view? If you see the question, okay, this is question number 13 in the question bank. Alright, I forgot to mention the question number in the case of your question bank. It's question 13 on the question bank. So it says that it is 40 mm away from VP. So what is the meaning of that? In this case they have given that question like that. It is 40 mm away from VP. That means in all the other diagrams, whatever you have been doing till now, you are placing the object randomly, isn't it? Let's say it's inclined at 30 degrees to VP, any object, pyramid or prism or whatever. But what you are doing, you are taking any distance and you are only satisfying the condition that the line is kept on the 30 degree line, the axis or the base, whatever is given in the question. But we were not specifically maintaining any distance from XY line, isn't it? I've been always telling you that you have to make sure that the drawing comes below the XY line. I was never telling you that you should maintain so much distance or it should be very close or very far. No, because nowhere that was mentioned in the question at all. The condition was like it should be at an angle of so and that has to be maintained. So axis means axis should be at an angle of 40 degrees or 30 degrees. And the drawing should come below the xy line. That was the only condition. But in this particular question, they have specifically said that the base edge, that is B dash C dash or BC, that edge on which it is resting is 40 mm away from it. So what has to be done? You have to draw the sketch in such a way that the line BC should be kept at a distance of 40 mm from the xy line. So you have to measure the distance. Okay, and they have also said that the base edge is parallel to VP. So base edge is B dash C dash. So right now BC is parallel or perpendicular. Right now in this particular view, it's perpendicular, right? So you can see the line. This line BC, it's perpendicular to xy line. That means it is perpendicular to VP right now. If you want to make it parallel to VP, what you have to do? You have to rotate this by 90 degrees and make it horizontal. Reverse case. Like in the previous problem of a cube, it was actually parallel, if you remember, right? In the previous case in the cube, it was actually parallel, and in the question it was told that it is perpendicular. So you have to make it vertical. But in this case, when you see, now it is actually perpendicular. It is told to make parallel. That means BC should be made horizontal. Then it will become parallel to VP. Okay. So it becomes parallel to VP. It would have been possible that we keep it anywhere, but the condition should have been BC should be horizontal. But in addition to that, in this question they have also said that it is parallel to VP and also it maintains a distance of 40 mm from vertical plane. That means from xy line, BC should be done at a distance of 40 mm. That is just an additional data that they have given. Okay, so what you have to do first? You have to draw one locus line or a reference line at a distance of 40 mm from the xy line. Then you have to place BC on that particular line. See, the drawing should be coming like this. Got it? 40 mm away. So if you keep it anywhere up also, above or below, the shape of the sketches, the shape will not change for the front view. Anywhere if you keep it comes same. But just because they have mentioned this data in the question, you will have to keep it at a distance of 40 mm. So you are rotating the entire object by 90 degrees, making it parallel to VP and also maintaining a distance of 40 mm from XY line. Okay, so let's do the namings. O, B, C, A. I don't think reproducing this drawing would be difficult because this is a triangular again. It's very simple because you already know that BC is straight. So 40 mm line you will draw, place BC distance there. From there you will take a distance from B to A in the compass, you will cut the arc. C to A in the compass, you will cut the arc. You get that shape, then you can easily find the rest of the points. Isn't it? So now we have to get the final view. So projection should go from each of the lines, from A, from B, from C, from O. Then you will get the corresponding points. You get A dash, B dash, C dash, O1 dash and O2 dash. Now our job is again similar, joining the outermost boundary first. So the outermost boundary is O1 dash, B dash, C dash, O1 dash. This is the outermost boundary. So in any case, this won't be hidden, right? So outer boundary is over. Next we have to consider about A dash. What about A dash? That's coming inside. So should I be joining it as hidden line or visible line? There's a confusion. So when there's a confusion, you have to see the drawing below, the top view. So A, we are downwards, right? Whether A is near to us or far from us? Near to us, right? A is downwards here. In most of the cases, if you observe, the base was near to us, right? Now in one of those rare problems where we have the top near to us. So A is down or up? A is downwards. That means A is closer to us. Whatever is down is visible. So since A is downwards, A has to be visible. Okay, so A has to be visible. So we will connect that like this. A to B is visible A to C is visible. So if A to B is visible, A to C is visible, then A to O1, A dash to O1 is also visible. Then remaining is axis. You have to connect the axis O1 to O2. Got it? So this is a example of tetrahedron. So you have only 2 problems on tetrahedron actually. So you need to remember this, how to do this. So again, I'll just repeat right from the beginning. Tetrahedron, a four-sided, 4 equal faces figure. So it is having 4 triangular faces. So one of them will be base, remaining 3 will be slant faces, and the edge which is parallel to XY line should be taken as the side and the front view, not the axis. From there you will get the second view, we will project it downwards. Then it is said that it is resting on the edge, and the edge on which it is resting is parallel to VP, and at the same time it is 40 mm away from it. So you will maintain a distance of 40 mm and make it parallel to XY line, and then you will project it upwards and get the final view. Okay, so we'll take the next problem and the last problem in projection of solid. This is the last 16th problem that I'm doing, and this question is question number 14 on your question bank. Okay, so the question is like this: a tetrahedron of 55 mm sides rests on one of its corners such that an edge containing that corner is inclined at 50 degrees to HP and 30 degrees to VP. Draw its projections. Okay, so I actually wanted you people to do this on your own, but I just thought let me give this explanation first, and then you can do it, because once I've already done a problem on tetrahedron, so you should be able to do this problem now, because this is also easier, because tetrahedron 55 mm side is given, resting on the corner is given, conditions are all very clean here. It is inclined at 50 degrees to HP and 30 degrees to VP. What is inclined at 50 degrees to HP? The edge containing that corner. Okay, so that is important. The edge containing the corner is inclined at 50 degrees to HP, and the same edge containing the corner is inclined at 30 degrees to VP, not the axis. Okay, so it is resting on the corner condition now. So first we have to draw a triangle of 55 mm sides. Okay, so we will begin with the solution. Corner on HP condition. So initially, since it's a triangle, it doesn't matter, you keep it this side or that side. But what is more important is, while in the second view, when you tilt it, make sure the condition is satisfied. Okay, so in that case it has to be resting on the corner only. Okay, so let us join the corners and get the center of that. Okay, so side is 55 mm. Okay, A, B, C is the base. The center has been found out, that is O1 and O2. Now you have to understand, you already know this, but I'm still repeating it. O1C is the edge, right? That is the edge which is parallel to XY line. So you have to take O1C 55 mm, not O1B or O1A. It has to be O1C in this case. So you will project it upwards. Alright, so when you project it upwards, you have to make sure that you extend the axis line upwards and take the distance of C to O as 55 in the compass. You will keep it at C and cut it on the axis and get the front view. Okay, so projections we have done. So as you can see, O1 has been projected upwards, but now what we have to do, we need to take this distance, because O1C is over here. So we are taking from here 55 mm, keeping the compass at this particular point and then cutting it on the axis. So this line only has to be 55. I have already explained this, so there is no point of repeating it. So this line is parallel, so this should be 55, not this side. Okay, so 55 should be taken from C, and you get the axis, and then you join the points. Alright, then you do the namings. O1 dash, C dash on the right, O2 dash is the axis, B dash bracket, A dash, B dash is in the front, A dash is in the back side. That's why A dash will be in the bracket. Now we have to see the second condition. They have said that the edge containing the corner. So which is that edge containing the corner? Which is the corner on which it is resting now? Suppose I tilt it towards my right. Let's assume that I am tilting this towards my right object. So it will rest on corner C dash, right? If I tilt it towards my left, what will happen? It would rest on AB. That means it is resting on the edge. That becomes wrong. It's given in the question that it is resting on the corner. So I will have to tilt it towards this side, right side, keeping C dash on the XY line. Okay. So I have to keep C dash on the XY line and draw the object like this. The triangle will come like this, isn't it? Sorry, like this. So being C dash here. So which is the edge containing the corner? This is the corner on which it is resting. So the edge containing the corner is O dash C dash. So this is inclined at 50 degrees to HP is given in the question. Right? That is O1 dash C dash. That is the edge. That is the condition given. Axis is not inclined to 50 degrees or anything else is not given. Very clearly stated in the question that the edge containing the corner on which it is resting. So it is resting on the corner C dash. Edge containing the corner C dash is O1 dash C dash. So O1 dash C dash has to be inclined at 50 degrees. Okay, so keeping that condition in mind, we will draw the sketch. So it is tilted in such a way that O1 dash C dash is inclined at 50 degrees. Okay, so you can get the remaining points. Not a big deal. C dash to A dash you will measure, draw an arc. O1 dash to C dash you will measure. O1 dash to B dash, A dash B dash you will measure, and you will draw the arc. It will meet at the point. That point will be B dash bracket A dash. So that completes the second front view. So now we have to draw the top view, right? So projections has to come from the top view as well as the front view. So you get the points A dash and A meets at A, B dash and B will meet down at B, O dash and O will meet at O1. Okay, so let's join the outermost boundary first. Our rules as it is, joining the outermost boundary. C is not yet projected actually. C will be here, right? So projection of C dash and C, it will come here. So this point will be C. O2 and O2 is here. So this point will be O2. Anyways, that will come inside, so it doesn't matter. So we need to join the outermost boundary. Outermost boundary is O1 to A to B, B to O. So we'll first join that. So this will not be hidden in any case. So next we are seeing from the top. So when we see from the top, C is bottom, so C won't be visible. So this will be hidden line. C is hidden. So A to C, C to B will be hidden line. Okay, so A to C is hidden, B to C is hidden. That means obviously O to C is also hidden. Okay, so that is how you need to look into the object, right? Boundary will always be visible. So when you are seeing from the top, you have to see whether C is in the top or bottom. So C is definitely the base, so it will not be visible. So that's why it has to be made hidden lines. And then you have to join the axis also. So you have to be very careful while joining the axis. Okay, so if I just zoom this portion and I can show you, because you will most of the time draw a continuous lines around. You can very clearly see the difference, right? O1 to O2 here is axis, O1 to C is the edge. So hidden line is different, axis line is different. While drawing it, please be very sure O1 to C should be hidden line and O1 to O2 should be axis. So O1 to C, till there you can draw hidden line only, and just from there you can draw it as axis line. Okay, so that completes our second part. Alright, so now there is an important an interesting thing to do, that is inclination to VP. So inclination to VP, they have told you the same edge they are talking about. Okay, they are not talking about any other edge here. They said in the question that the edge containing the corner is inclined at 50 degrees to HP and 30 degrees to VP. That means they are talking about the same edge which is containing the corner, that is nothing but OC line is inclined to VP at 30 degrees. So in this case you have to see locus has to be drawn or not. OC. So what we have to do, we have to check whether when do we draw the locus, if there is any change in length from the first view to second view, right? So what is the actual length of OC? 55, isn't it? In the first view you can see that O1 dash C dash is 55 mm. Now when the projection of that is drawn, this is 55, so obviously this is also 55. But now when you see here, O1 to C will come here, isn't it? Is it same? No, it will be lesser because it is inclined, right? So now if you take the distance of this, it will be lesser than that. Therefore in this case you will have to draw the locus, because they have not mentioned the term appears to be. They have only told that the edge containing the corner is inclined to VP at 30 degrees. So what you have to do is first to draw a 30 degree line and then take the true length of the edge containing the corner, that is O dash C dash, 55 mm, measure that and then draw a locus line. Okay, then what you have to do, take the apparent length, that is from the second view, measure this O1 to C length, this length O1, not O1 to O2, O1 to C edge, measure that length and cut it on the locus line. Then you will get the angle beta. Okay, then you have to reproduce the drawing in such a way that O1C line is on the locus, that is the new angle beta is found out. Okay, so O1 to C you have found out. Then you have to get the distances. Okay, after doing all the bigger problems, I don't think this will be difficult for you because you have done hexagonal prism, pentagonal prism and all that. So I don't think finding out these things will be difficult. You have O1 here, you have C here, right? O1 and C is found out. Okay, of course you can extend it and find O2 also, but measure the distance from C. So C to A distance you would know in the compass, so keep it at here and cut one arc. O1 to A distance you know, keep it at O1 and cut the arc, you get the point A. Similarly, C to B distance you would know, keep the distance compass at C and cut somewhere here. O to B you know the distance, keep it at O in the compass and cut it here, so you get the point A as well as B. So once you get that, you can join this point, join this point, join this point, this one as well as this one. So it's easy. So you can find out these particular points and also find out the angle beta. Okay, then you have to draw the final front view. So projections, do the namings first, do the namings. O1, A, B, C, O2, all the points you have to locate. So once you locate all the points, you have to project it upwards and you have to get the final view. Okay, so let's project it upwards. So projections from A, projection from B, projection from C, projection from O1, and O also has to be drawn. So since since you have ABC downwards, right, so that will be visible in the front view. So I always tell you those things. You can see here ABC is downwards, the base is downwards, this is upwards. So obviously if the base is down and you project it here, the base will be visible. So A dash, B dash, C dash is visible. You locate O1 as well as O2. Now your job is to join the outermost boundary. Okay, so the outermost boundary will be this. I'll just go back once. Okay, so the outermost boundary will be A, B dash, O1 dash and C dash. So that part will be visible. Got it? So base is visible, that you have understood, because base is downwards. The boundary will be A dash, B dash, O1 dash, C dash. So that part also will be visible. So you go to the next step, so you can see that. So whatever is visible is covered. Only one line that was not visible is A1 to O. So that will be made hidden. Okay. Rest all the lines are connected, isn't it? A dash, B dash, O1 dash, C dash is on the boundary. A, B, C is the base, so that is also visible. So only line that is not connected is A dash to O1 dash. So that will be hidden line. And of course the axis has to be shown O1 dash, O2 dash. So this completes the second tetrahedron problem. So with this we have completed all the 16 problems in solids. Okay, I have solved all the 16 problems here in the video. So I also expect you students to also complete this particular problems in your sketchbooks. Okay, so we have been doing it in an orderly manner. It was not that I have suddenly did all the problems. In every class, in every lecture, I was doing two to three problems at the maximum. So we have come individually like that, and I was also expecting you people also to do those 1 or 2 problems every day, and in the sense every class that we have conducted. So to be frank, I expected you to finish it till here by the end of the day, but anyways, let's hear it from you only. You only have to tell me when will you submit these 16 problems in solids. Okay, and as far as the assignment is concerned, I want you to do this particular problem, okay, which I did just now. This problem will be taken as an assignment for today's class, and by the end of the day, that is by 5 o'clock, I want you people to do this tetrahedron problem and submit. Okay, because in the last problem we have completed a square prism, right? So in today's class, I want you people to do this problem number 14 in your question bank, tetrahedron. Complete this tetrahedron and submit it. All right, okay. So with this we have completed solids, and then in the next video itself we will start with the next module. Okay, but for the assignment point of view, for today's class, I want all of you to do this problem and submit it to me. All right.